Hi everybody, and a very happy Easter to all of you. I hope you're enjoying a nice few days away from the trading screens. Easter Monday is a holiday in parts of the world, but not a holiday in America, so ICE will be open for business as usual. Expecting a little bit of a slow start to the trading week just because so much of the world is still on holiday, but nonetheless the US markets are open for business and there's going to be trading action today. So let's have a look at what the probabilities are for this week. So starting here with the Russell chart, let's start with a weekly chart because this is really just showing the strength of the weekly uptrend remaining intact, having continued to, as it pulls back, make higher lows. So for example, we had a low here, and as we pull back the next time, we made a higher low. We've just pulled back again, had a decent pullback, and we've made a higher low than the previous. So we keep on making higher lows, we keep on making higher highs. Notice price keeps pulling back into this buy zone that I talk about, the zone around the 10 and 20 period moving average. We've pulled back into the buy zone. We've got two very bullish candles now. This is last week's candle having now fully closed, and the week before. Very, very similar candles, but last week slightly more bullish than the week before, simply because of the colour of it, closing green. Buyers closing out the week, and it looks really, really strong. If we come and look at this on a monthly chart, we've still got this caution of being at these old highs. We've had that for a long time. We did have some decent sell-offs within there, just not the really big one that will come at some stage, just isn't necessarily coming now. We've still got these old highs back through here, which is looking like a sensible place for it to pull back to eventually. The monthly candle still looks a little bit iffy in terms of it's indecisive, it's not clear winning, buyers are not clearly in control there, and we're at that high. So there's just a little bit of caution, but that's on a monthly basis. It's very, very different to what's likely to happen this week. And if we look at it on the weekly chart, well, this week looks likely to be very bullish. Then we come and look at the daily chart here, and it looks really strong. We had this slight trend reversal back here in March, but now we've pushed up to new highs, we've pulled back down, and if we now zoom in and look at what's happening here, we've got what's known as a little bit of a double bottom pattern. Now I don't usually use names like that, but what's happened is we came down, we made a low, we rallied and made a high, we came down, we made a slightly higher low than the previous, and now we've broken up through that high. I like the Russell long as of that point. I'm very, very bullish on this as of that point. A little bit of caution, like I say, on higher time frames, but it looks strong, and we have to go with daily and weekly trends, and that's where the action is right now, and the charts are showing up. Let's have a quick look at some of the cash indices. The Dow is on a rampage. It's leading the way here. It's broken to new highs. It's the only one of the index markets that's broken to new highs. But it has here, having pushed straight up to a new high after this big sell-off here, pushed right up to a new high, pulled back into the averages, and is now broken up to new highs again. It's looking good. It's looking strong. And coming and looking at this, all the other indices here, apart from the Russell, they don't have as much in the way. And I'm really looking at around about 13,000 here. For the Dow. So I'm looking for a 500-point rally here before I look for any more resistance to be coming in. Weekly chart looking strong. The S&P hasn't actually broken to new highs yet, so not quite as strong as the Dow. Some of the large caps are clearly holding things back a little bit. However, coming and looking at this weekly chart, it's similar to the Russell in terms of we've pulled back in, we've got this low, we've come up, we've made a lower high, but now we've pulled back to a higher low, and as we break up through this point right here, we will be reconfirming the uptrend. So we don't have too far to go. We're pretty much closing, pretty much close about that level now. So just a slight move up this week. The S&P will be back into a confirmed uptrend and looking very strong. I expect that to continue. I expect it to push on. If we look at this one and where it might get to, pretty much got 1400 as the obvious point on the chart for the price to be coming up and testing. Now let's just come quickly and look at the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq was the one that was actually, looking a little bit different to the others, and in this sense as well, it was still coming down and making lower highs, while other markets were starting to push on up. Well, in the last couple of days of last week, it really started to make up for that, and really started to play catch up. A couple of really big moves here, now broken up above this high. The daily chart quite hard to read because of the gaps on it. It's not looking so nice. I don't like gappy charts like that. So I'd rather come and assess the weekly, and the weekly has now put in this higher low. And remember, we're looking at the S&P, we're looking at this previous high here. Let's just move that arrow. Looking at this previous high and looking for the S&P to break it to confirm the uptrend. Well, the Nasdaq has already done that exactly. It's confirming the uptrend. It's looking strong, looking like continuing north, and everything looking positive. So coming back to the Russell, just summarising things, ever since this point right here, as the Russell broke up through this high, is the point where the market changed back into bullish with the daily and weekly chart, both are green. Even the monthly chart is in an undisputed uptrend. It's only that it looks a little bit overextended, which is the slight reason for caution. But otherwise, everything looking strong. I'm expecting an up week this week, looking for stocks, to at least come up and test these old highs here. on the Russell and perhaps even push through there. Looking for maybe 500 points on the Dow, and that's going to equate to a pretty decent move here on the Russell as well. Happy trading all. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful Easter for those of you who are still enjoying your break, and I'll speak to you next week.